Hello, this is Jerry, and coming here today to talk a little bit about the lottery and how to put the numbers that you get from the website into a spreadsheet so that you can use them to get better picks and more frequent and better lottery wins. So, if you've ever looked at any of the lottery methods that are out there, and there are quite a few, a lot of the times what the lottery method needs from you as the user is a way to work with all the past lottery numbers. Knowing lottery history is a important part of picking better numbers for your lottery. So of course, they're listed on the website, but they're not easy to work with in that format. So the best thing to do is to get them into a Word document, or even better, get them into a spreadsheet so that you can manipulate the numbers, find out what the most common number is, what the least common number is, separate them by years, and just do a lot of cross-examination. Now, we do this because we love to do this, not because there's a magic formula that's going to make you an instant millionaire, because there isn't. But it's fun to work with, and even though you're not going to get a guaranteed lottery win out of it, you are going to get a better chance of hitting those lottery wins. And it's really interesting, actually, once you start digging through your lottery. It's fun to do Powerball. That's what I'm going to do right now. It's really fun to do local lottery, a smaller lottery with the same amount of numbers, but with less people bidding on it, and maybe a lottery that's been around for a little bit longer versus a shorter time. So anyways, let's get into how it works. And it's really not that hard, but if you haven't worked with computers a lot and transferring stuff, then this can be tricky. So first thing I'm going to do is go to the Powerball site, and we're going to go to Powerball numbers here. And look for where they have the history or the archive. So right here it says old numbers, but it might not always say that. It might say history or archive. So we'll just click on that. And here's the historical winning numbers, and you can do a date range here. And actually, I'm not even going to bother with that. I'm going to go down here, and it says click here for information in the Microsoft Word format or winning numbers in plain text format. I'm actually going to do plain text. Now, if your lottery site, doesn't give you a plain text format or Microsoft Word format, then you will have to create that your own by highlighting numbers and pasting them. I think a lot of lotteries now are having this option, and if you don't have that option and you have some problems, I'll probably do another tutorial on that. Otherwise, you can just contact me via the website at guaranteedlottterywin.net. But here's what we do right here. And look at that. Lottery numbers all the way back to 97. So that's good. I mean, we'll be okay with that much information. So first thing you need to do is to gather all these numbers, and the easiest way is to Control A or Open Apple A, and that'll highlight everything. So you can right click, you can Control C, but basically you need to copy it. So once again, if you're not computer savvy, we're just gonna Open Apple A, and you can select all. You can right click and copy, or you can just Control C. So we have the numbers now on our clipboard. Everything's there. Now what I want to do is I really want to put this into a spreadsheet, because I want to be able to do mathematical formulas on all the numbers and see which one's the most common, which one's the least common, which one's the most common on Wednesdays, how often are numbers next to each other versus spaced apart. All these little things matter in these lottery methods, so we want to find out as much information as we can. Well, here's what happens putting into the spreadsheet. What happens is you just paste, it's a mess, because it pastes what you copied. And you can see that these aren't in cells, and it's useless to me. So that doesn't work to just paste. Now you notice I am using an Apple, but this also works on a Windows machine as well. So just look for similar commands. But what you're going to do is you're going to go up here to the edit, and instead of just pasting, we're going to paste special. And I know Windows has this as well. Paste special. And we're going to do an unformatted text. The reason we're going to do that is because when we hit OK, it's going to give us this link of options. And what we want to do is we want to do it with a space. So what that means is it's going to separate every individual object or number by spaces. It's giving us a preview here, and when you look down there, you see that something's weird the way the columns are coming up. And what's happening is that there are actually more than one space between these numbers. So what this is doing is it's saying, okay, I'm going to put all these into separate columns for you in separate cells, and I'm going to use a space as a delimiter, and so it's adding columns in between. Well, this is kind of messy, and you could fix it in the spreadsheet and everything would be fine, or we could modify our original paste. So what I'm going to do here, and what I've already done actually, is, so here's the paste of what I got off Powerball, the Powerball website. And you can see that there's too many spaces here. So if I just do this, that's 1, 2, actually there's 3 there. I think it's supposed to be like this. So it goes 1, there's 2 spaces in between each one. So what I'm going to do is Control F is going to do a find replace. And this is pretty neat. What we want to do is we want to turn all of those double spaces into single spaces. So I'm literally going to find every double space and turn it into a single space. And here's how you do that. In the find replace, where it says find, you go 1, 2, 2 spaces, and we're going to replace it with 1 space. Hit next. Okay. And then just do replace all. Boom. And it shortened it up. So that's great. Now we can get rid of this. Now what we have is, when we go into the spreadsheet, it'll delimitate more accurately. There's one more thing I'm going to do, just because I've done this before and I realize it. We want this draw date to be in the same cell. So I'm going to make that into one word, and then I'm going to fix this 1 space here. Alright, so now we're going to Control A. We're going to copy. And then we are going to paste special, unformatted text, by space, hit OK, and there we have it. We have everything we need in separate cells. And that is step 1 of getting closer to hitting that guaranteed lottery win, which obviously isn't guaranteed. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to break this whole session into tinier little videos so they're easier to digest. But even right now, if you know anything about spreadsheets, you know that you can go in and really start looking at these numbers. With certain formulas, you can just find out how many times 23 has been hit in the last 15 years. So that's where I'll stop. Thanks so much for stopping by. Take a look at some of the other videos, and we'll talk to you later.